It is exactly 9:20 a.m. South African time. We cross over now to New Delhi in India, and we are going to be joined by journalist Shweta Kothari. Now, she is the journalist that was hired to teach radio and TV journalism at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication and was allegedly shamed by a Hindu journalism professor in a class of 50 students. The New Delhi based journalist told the Free Press Journal that her next class at the IIMC was cancelled by the institution. So, what is this all about? Let's welcome Shweta Kothari to the program this morning. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Julie. Good morning to you as well.
I'm so sorry about your ordeal. How are you feeling about it now? Does it mean that all of your classes have been cancelled?
I do not have any further information on whether all my classes have been cancelled. What I can say for sure is my next class, which was scheduled for Thursday this week, has been cancelled. Now, the reason that was given to me was that there is a student event. However, I inquired from students of my class, and they say that other lectures are going to go on as planned. So that sort of confirms my fear that it was just my class that was cancelled.
Okay, so you were a visiting journalist there, giving possibly four, you're going to be giving four separate lectures over a period of time. Where are you from originally? Where's your base? And I also do know that you have written and covered international news for the likes of the BBC and other such big names. And one wonders why a person of your stature, a journalist of your stature, is treated so shabbily. Have you asked for answers yet?
Well, to answer your last question first, yes, I have. I've asked for answers. I have asked for accountability. I called up the great institution that IIMC is. I wanted to know what exactly transpired and whether there's going to be any action against the said professor. However, I haven't really heard back. Now, as far as the entire fiasco is concerned, I'm given to understand I wasn't in the class when it happened. It was after my lecture. I am given to understand that the said professor opened my Twitter account where I had announced that I will be teaching about 4 to 5 classes in IIMC, specifically on media ethics, media laws, and media responsibility. And I also called out the mainstream media in India, and I specifically wrote that mainstream media in India has become loud and hollow. So those were the two words I remember using in my tweet, which I think did not go down very well with him, because I am told that he said in the class of 50 people, whether she knows, which is me, whether I know anything at all about mainstream media, and who am I to question the media, or for that matter question the government, because in my previous tweets I have in fact raised questions on the ruling government. So he questioned my credentials. He obviously did not know if I have any understanding of media at all, which I can very proudly say that I've been a working journalist now for 10 years. Uh, However, what's I think in all of this, what's most alarming to me is it's not about me as a journalist. It's not about any other teacher like me. It's about the students of this country. It's about young journalists who should be exposed to a variety of opinion, and who should be in fact told to question the government. And from my
Absolutely.
understanding of this entire fiasco is that the students are being told not to question the government if they want to land a job, which is contrary to journalistic principles of accountability. And that for me is more scary.
So that obviously brings into question the issue around free press, free thought, freedom of expression, etc., which India, being a supposed democracy, would allow for all of that. So clearly, it does seem that the fact that uh, made those comments in your tweet about being loud and hollow, and also taking a swipe at the government, is something that has possibly cost you a class, or possibly all of the classes at the institute. Where to from here then for you? Do you have any legal standing to take this issue further? Because if you don't, it means other journalists are going to suffer the same fate as you do, or you have.
Well, Julie, I'm not the first person this has happened to. I'm told that there have been journalists before me who had an opinion that perhaps the institution did not like very well, and their lectures were cancelled. To answer your question on if it has any legal merit, it does not, because there was no written commitment. The conversation happened on the phone call. I was then subsequently sent the subject matter, and I was told that I have to teach for 4 to 5 classes. All my classes will happen every week, which is Thursday every week for subsequent 1 month. I don't think I will be taking a legal recourse. The reason being that this is, as I said, it's not my fight against the institution. I think this is something for institution to ponder on whether they want journalists, young student journalists, not be exposed to a variety of opinion. Remember, IIMC is a traditional media premium institution in this country that has often produced best of journalists. Journalists from IIMC went on to take, very important positions in media, and therefore we would want them to be exposed to a variety of opinion. So whether it's the left or the right, or whether it's the journalists who are critical of the ruling dispensation, or journalists who are friendly to the ruling dispensation, I think students need to be exposed to a variety of ideas. And that, for some reason, is not going to happen, because if my lecture stands cancelled, and this has happened in the past, unfortunately, I what I see is history repeating itself. I would obviously want questions to be asked from the administration. I think students are going to do that. It's their fight now. They have to ask for more diversity. They have to ask for better teachers. They have to, in fact, ask for, people with variety of opinions to come and teach them. I am really hopeful that students will take the fight forward. Now, as far as India is concerned, as you know, we are the biggest democracy in the world. Freedom of speech and expression is ingrained in the Indian Constitution. Article 19 of the Indian Constitution allows you to freely express and profess yourself in the matter of profession, religion, in all other spheres. So I'm very proud to be a part of this big and vibrant democracy. Unfortunately, one such institution, in my experience, is not allowing that freedom of speech and expression uh, to go out unhindered. But that is not going to really stop me from fighting for what I feel is a fundamental value of this country, which is to allow people to freely express themselves. So I will
Okay,
continue to ask questions.
I'm going to make a couple of comments and questions, and I do hope that I don't compromise your situation any further. But you do sound like a very feisty, free speaking journalist who will speak her mind for. In the name of freedom of speech. It sounds to me like, despite the fact that India being the biggest democracy in the world, that they're now beginning to stifle freedom of speech. Why is that? Is the BJP government feeling threatened in any way? Are the recent events over the past couple of months and years with separatist issues regarding the Muslim Hindu, break? Do you think that might be adding to this? I also understand that even Christian people have been marginalized to a great degree. So, do you think this is part of the problem? Or do you think that the opposition parties are just getting stronger and stronger, and the BJP party is beginning to become nervous? What exactly do you believe is going down?
Uh, Julie, I know I'm not supposed to be critical of the government. I know that there is a sense of fear, and I'm not going to shy away from saying that. There is a sense of fear among journalists today in this country. There is a sense of, if we speak against the government, there could be a raid tomorrow from one of the investigative agencies, from the central government's kitty. So there is a sense of fear among journalists. There is a sense of fear among minority, and it has been so in the last couple of years. So I do agree with you partially that there is stifling of voices, and that unfortunately has happened in the last couple of years. Journalists, however, continue to speak against it. there's never been a time in this country where the journalists in the country and the government has not been at loggerheads, because free speech is ingrained and enshrined in Indian constitution. Journalists have often spoken against atrocities by the government, and be it the central government, be it the local government. I'm not going to take a name of a party specifically, because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who is in power. Journalists in this country have fought regimes on regimes, and they continue to do that. And to answer your question on whether there is a sense of fear, yes, there is. Are we doing something about it? I see a horde and hordes of journalists going out and talking about it. I see journalists who are compromising on their life, on their security, and talking about mainstream issues that remain ignored or are not spoken about by the mainstream media. One of the criticisms that I feel needs to come out clearly is that of mainstream media in this country. Unfortunately, TV media is loud, is shallow, and that is something independent journalists and journalists from digital publications are challenging on a daily basis. So whether voices are being stifled, yes, they are. But that's going to stop journalists from questioning the government? I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Shweta, I do understand you need to leave now. You please do keep safe. I know you said you're not taking legal recourse on this matter, but don't let them stifle your voice. You need to get this message out very loudly and very clearly. But all I can say to you is make your voice heard, make your voices heard, and please do keep safe. Lovely talking with you this morning.
Thank you very much, Julie.
That was Shweta Kotari, a New Delhi-based journalist, talking about her experience of her voice being stifled by the college that she was teaching at, and of course the Indian government at large. Still to come on the show at 9:32 a.m., we're going to be talking with the CEO of Siafunda Community Technology Center, Ahmed Ismail, and later on we're going to talk to the MJC regarding the kidnappers of Abrar Dehta. Apparently, they are going to be granted bail. So do stand by for all of those stories. It is 9:32 right here on Salam Media.